All right, weekend market update, Sunday, October 5th. We're going to go through Bitcoin. We're going to go through S&P 500. We're going to do IWM, USDT dominance, and then the 10-year yield. So for our last video, where did we close last week? We closed at 111,007 something, 764. 765, and here we are at 122 and change. And again, I was continuously hearing top calls. The chart looks weak, this and that, without proper recognition, because the chart didn't look weak. This chart hasn't looked weak, truly hasn't looked weak since March of 2023. On a technical basis, there's just no argument to be made if you look at the Wyckoff structures, if you look at the trend analysis, if you look at the Elliott wave counts, if you combine all those things to arrive at any other assumption, in my opinion, is just succumbing to volatility and herd mentality, when the picture was much harder, believe me, to put together. The pieces of the puzzle back here, easier to put together here, okay, because we're looking at a giant reaccumulation range. And you start to see signs of strength as you come out of the reaccumulation range. And then here's where we're supposed to be the most bullish. Okay, this is the expansive phase. And we're supposed to kind of do the opposite of what the indicators are telling us, right? Oh, we're making this bearish divergence on RSI. So what? That doesn't tell me about anything that's going to happen in the future. If we listened to this bearish divergence back in December of 2024, or even May of 2025, it would have steered us the wrong way. And so often, I mean, everyone can see these things. It's not exactly alpha. Taking a simple indicator and something that everyone kind of agrees on is not a good look. And so that's why we have to apply other things in our analysis, to give us confidence and confluence. And so we're getting a reaction. We're set to close in a few hours here, the weekly at all the highest price ever on a weekly chart for Bitcoin. And again, crickets. I don't hear, nobody seems excited. There doesn't seem to be any type of euphoria in the market. And we keep getting the same type of another 20, 30, 40% move. Why would you look to get allocated to something when there's only this much left, or the cycle has X amount of days left? That's not normal. If there were X amount of days left, if there was an equation, if there was a cycle timeline, hedge funds would beat the S&P every single year. There is no predetermined cycle. If you can tell me what the predetermined number of dollars and currency is going to be created tomorrow, next month, next year, if you can figure out that, then maybe we have the ability to see potential cycles, but nobody can do that. And so please be very wary of anyone speaking in definitive terms of, and we have two camps now. We have, the cycle top is close and there's a big crash coming, and I've been hearing about this crash for years. And I've been hearing about the cycle top, and we never heard about all-time high before the halving. And so I think this is setting up to run a lot longer, a lot higher than even my forecast suggests. And that's that. And here we are breaking out on the weekly. Once, in my opinion, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take what I'm saying as financial advice. Every time I talk about these things that we chart, they can go up, down, or sideways. With that being said, my opinion here is very strong. We know that. That's not a shocker. If and when we break the power trend on RSI to the upside, I'm expecting a fierce move and for the chart to look something like that, right? And that could come in many different shapes and many different forms. But I'm looking at a minimum move, minimum of 175 within 2 months of this break. Maybe less. That could happen in 4 to 6 weeks. Um, why do I say that? Because we are in the expansive phase following this. Essentially, it's a year-long consolidation. We came up to this level December of last year. The market literally has just been consolidating below and now above it. Okay, and we're getting towards a year. Uh, the tell has been on the RSI inability to close below 50. The two previous pullbacks got below 50. And so the pullbacks are getting weaker and weaker. They're getting absorbed, which you expect to see the later that you're moving up out of expansion, you'd expect to see that. And so that continues to be the view on Bitcoin. The S&P 500 is aligned with that as well, where what did I say coming out of this Trump tariff April abyss? This looks like a 3 snapback 4 V shape. And my nearest target before I entertain a weekly or monthly consolidation corrective period, 7,051.08. And that sounded crazy back when we were at 55,600. That sounded crazy when we were 5,900. But now here we are at 6,715 and only how many points away from that? 5% off of that. Okay, 5% off of that. I was told September bearish is a seasonally bearish month, which then means for the riskiest stuff like the Bitcoin miners, watch out. But it was the opposite. That was the opposite. It was one of the best performing months for the Bitcoin miners in a long time. So be very careful the narratives that you follow. If a lot of people are thinking the same thing, you should probably be on this other side. And we have a lot of people thinking in two polar opposite paths here. My bet is somewhere nowhere near one side or the other. This market looks like it wants to go. I mean, when I say a multi-week, multi-month at 7,000, the real correction I think happens from 8,400 on the S&P. That could give us another multi-month, 6-month, something like that, 7-month correction, a year, who knows? And then it's the top. If that happens, everyone calls a top, and then we have another explosive leg. And this thing could get us into the 2030s easily with S&P double where we are right now. That's my view. IWM's breaking out here, and again, it's going to be very cool if we're following trader accounts to try to make ourselves look better, right? And oh, look at this, it's extended. You need to pull back, and then we're going to go. Maybe not. It's the first time RSI on IWM is now coiling back up over 70, trying to get over 70 on a weekly. We haven't seen that since COVID. And when that happened in November of 2020, which is the last time this RSI setup is presented itself, the market ran from when it broke into 70 from November to March, 30% in small caps, 30%. November, December, January, February, March, 5 months. Okay, 5 months. Is that going to happen now? I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I don't think people are prepared for just a monster continuation upwards. I really don't. And I see the same thing with the Bitcoin chart, right? If we go back to the Bitcoin chart, let me play a cool trader type here, right? Oh, let's see. Here's what we got to do. Here's what we have to do. We made an impulse, right? We made an impulse off the lows. This is an impulsive move. 1, 2, gotta pull back, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, which could most certainly happen. But the market doesn't always do what people think is going to happen. And here we are on the daily, this inverted hammer candle. So, oh yeah, that's a local top, right? Let's see a pullback to 118 and retest this breakout. Would I bet on that happening? No, I wouldn't bet on that happening. Let the market do its work. May happen, may not. Who knows? I could see this thing just completely moving from here for the next 4 to 6 weeks, but we're going to find out. USDT dominance. I continuously pointed at this chart saying this entire macro setup, again, going back a year, this is a bearish triangle. Okay, this is bearish. And the assumption has to be in the direction of the trend is how this exits. And if I look at the 30-week, which is our guide, and when I look at the Ichimoku cloud, which is our guide, when I look at the Elliott wave counts, which is our guide, when I look at the direction of the trend, which is our guide, we stop short on the 20 or the 30. Could it check back up here? Sure. Could it get up to the cloud, deviate? Sure. It's done that before. But the direction from now through the end of the year and early next year to me is a breakdown, is true markdown in USDT, which means if that happens, money floods into the crypto ecosystem off the sidelines. The 10-year, this looks like a downtrend. We've broken down from the cloud, broken down from the 30-week. And what did I say last week? You could get a counter trend rally, but I'm expecting this to continue in the direction of the trend. RSI moving average is pointed down, came up, retested the underside. This looks like it wants to continue down. That's it, folks, for the update. I hope you all had a great weekend. Take care.